So here we are in the year 2025, and Battlefield 6 is slated to drop and completely shake up the FPS scene. Seriously. At a time when pretty much every other shooter right now is obsessed with tons of microtransactions, retention systems, and grueling skill-based matchmaking algorithms, it seems like DICE and Battlefield Studios are heading a bit back more towards the golden age of FPS by committing to a modern, gritty military shooter that is honestly seeming to turn a lot of different heads around, including my own. And although I've seen a lot of people sharing their opinions for things like a lot of the cosmetics that should come to the game, or even a battle royale that seems to be coming, many other players are also praising it for that atmosphere and commitment to style that it's been showing up so far, as well as just the grand scale of Battlefield battles in general. It's super freaking cool. All of these qualities were recently shown off in the Battlefield 6 open beta, and honestly are even causing the big juggernaut of FPS games right now, Call of Duty, to step back on some of the anti-consumer ideas that they've been putting on the community lately, and even responding to some feedback. Um, so I just wanted to go ahead and put out this little video to potentially talk a little bit about Battlefield 6 and my thoughts on it as someone who only dabbles with it from time to time. Obviously, I do play Call of Duty a whole ton, and while I don't have a lot of time in a Battlefield, I do probably have a few hundred hours across multiple titles, mainly Battlefield 1, but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this. All right, so let's just get the big ticket thing out of the way. Obviously, I'm just going to reiterate that, yeah, I have played monumental amounts more of Call of Duty over the entirety of my time spent gaming instead of Battlefield. So I do not expect any of my criticisms to be really taken super seriously. I'm just here to share a lot of my thoughts and initial reactions after playing the Battlefield 6 beta pretty extensively. I thoroughly enjoyed my time playing on it. It was super duper fun, and I didn't really know what to expect going into it because while I didn't really have a lot of fun trying out BF5 or even really attempting to even try Battlefield 2042, I still go back to play BF1 from time to time, and that's really kind of like my base point when it comes to Battlefield games. And coming into 6, I was thoroughly impressed, and I was having a very good time playing. It's got a very different sandbox from Battlefield 1 in my experience, but that is honestly really fun because it's an entirely new set of systems to like try and learn. And I don't know what has carried over from like 5 and 2042, but things like the Dragon Revive and even what I think DICE is currently experimenting with the open weapon system for all the classes. I am personally a fan of that. I know a lot of Battlefield people are not. I don't necessarily get the main difference between closed or not. Like, not in the sense of like what they do, but more of like how that adjusts like the weapon flow between all the classes. But we'll get into more of that in a little bit. The first thing that I do want to like praise DICE on, first of all, is being able to put out this beta in a much more complete state in general compared to 2042, as well as being upfront about the fact that at least on paper right now, they are going to stay committed to a very grounded and military look right now. And this is something that I feel like the general FPS space really needed, because with the grand scheme of things with Call of Duty sort of finally fully committing itself to Fortniteifying everything and really focusing wholly on shop bundles and everything like that. Not that it hasn't in the past, but I think people who have played Black Ops 6 can really understand the fact that, like, yeah, things have gotten a little out of hand. So with how everything looks at Battlefield right now in the beta, obviously we didn't have even like half of the game open to us. I think we still have another like half of the map pool and tons of other weapons and gadgets to play with. But as things are sitting right now, things feel really, really good. I really enjoyed my time playing. As far as it kind of goes with some of the weapon classes, or sorry, the different classes of players that you can play with. Personally, I'd always kind of had a bit of a problem with assault in the FPS games that weren't Battlefield 1, because at least in 1, with my experience, you know, that class was more of a like an armor destruction type class. And in both BF4 and here in BF6, it's definitely more of like that Call of Duty get in and just start slaying the front line, which I suppose is its purpose, but it's a lot more of a selfish class in that regard. And that is something that personally for me, when I play Battlefield, I'm just not really into that. I personally like to pick something like engineer or support to help out the team more directly. And even from time to time, I'll also pick up recon as well if I do feel like getting a little bit of sniping in, because that's something that I think Battlefield does really well. Is the fact that the sniping is so satisfying because they rely on the headshot sniping to be the primary way to kill people. I will say that after trying out the beta, as well as going back to play BF1 in the past couple of weeks, I'm not personally a fan of the sweet spot mechanic, where if you're unfamiliar, for each of the sniper rifles, there's a specific range, usually like around 10 to 20 meters of a range out super far, where the sniper can be a one shot to the body. And for Battlefield in particular, I don't think that is super helpful. Not helpful, but it's just kind of cheesy for the Battlefield snipers in particular. Obviously, body shot sniping is something that is very natural to Call of Duty just because of the nature of that game. But with Battlefield being a lot more large scale, I think that is a little bit cheesy. To go into a little bit more specifics, I suppose, on the classes, I think that the sling idea for Assault was fairly iffy. I wasn't really a fan of the fact that people could also have a shotgun on them. The shotgun being overpowered, I honestly didn't really have a problem with. My problem was just the fact that the sling was there even to begin with. And I think it is at least a neat idea that they could double up on grenade launchers instead. So that was a neat idea for Assault, I suppose. Engineer was probably my least played class personally, but I do know that it is super effective, and the games where I was kind of committing to the engineer role and healing up tanks and everything, that was honestly pretty fun. My main class was support, and I absolutely love support in every Call of Duty game. The ones where you're just on the front line trying to keep everybody alive, constantly hitting reses, and while you will run into people that just do not wait half a second just to get revived, they instantly skip to the scoreboard. It's really annoying as a support player, but I suppose at that point it's just kind of a Battlefield thing that you deal with, particularly with a lot of Call of Duty people coming into the space, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But lastly, with Recon, as of right now, the way that we saw it in the beta, I thought it was pretty well balanced besides the sweet spot mechanic. I'm not sure what other gadgets Recon is going to have besides C4, because I do know that they're going to lose the respawn beacon for the Assault picking it up, and I don't know what else Recon is going to have at that point, but we'll have to see. And to get back onto the Call of Duty point, a lot of Battlefield players were talking about how the maps in the beta were extremely small and chaotic. And even being someone like myself who does play Call of Duty a lot, I have put time into Battlefield, and these maps were really small and kind of super chaotic, Nuketown shipment in terms of pacing, which for Battlefield I'm not sure if I'm really too much of a fan of. I think Iberian Offensive was the worst offender for me before they added Empire City. On the streets in Queens, after that one was added in Weekend 2, I think that one was my worst map. But overall, I do think Iberian Offensive was kind of the weakest. With, honestly, you can call me crazy, but Liberation Peak and Siege of Cairo were my two favorite maps in the beta thus far. And I don't know what that says about me as a player, but I think because they do have at least a little bit more breathing room, especially Liberation Peak, that one was a lot more fun for me. And we'll just have to see how things go when the full game launches, because I'm hoping that if things kind of work out well for me, that I will be able to buy both BF6 and BO7. I mean, it's going to be extremely difficult having to pick between one of the two at launch. But I think, it's not confirmed, but I do believe BF6 is slated to be an October release, and Black Ops is supposed to be a November release. Something like that. I don't know the exact dates, but other than that, BF6 really just kind of swung super hard and hit a home run out of the park with this beta. I was super impressed, and although I did have a lot of times where I was kind of upset with how the games were going, because I primarily like to play Breakthrough and Operations. Those two game modes, one of the same Operations is from BF1, and Breakthrough is the modern interpretation of it now. I absolutely love Breakthrough, because it's a simple, attackers to defenders. It's not, super widespread, people can be anywhere type of thing in Conquest. And I just really love Breakthrough. and yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but basically, I really just enjoyed my time playing the game, and I have largely a lot of good things to say about it. I do want to keep this video relatively short compared to what I probably thought I had to say after the beta concluded, but since it's been a couple weeks since then, and a lot of what has needed to be said has already been said by others, I think I'll go ahead and call it here for now. Just to, I guess, kind of reiterate that while I have spent a large majority of my FPS time on Call of Duty, I do still indulge in a lot of Battlefield from time to time, not anywhere near as much, but I do know how to play the game. I, as someone who dabbles with it from time to time, I think Battlefield 6 is slated to be a super good game if they commit to everything that they've been saying that they were going to, pre-launch. Keeping the entire identity of the game intact, keeping a lot of different cosmetics and stuff relatively grounded if they are going to let things kind of get anywhere close to what Call of Duty has done in the past. I would personally prefer that they don't, but that is yet to be seen. And the final thing that I think I'll just kind of quickly comment on is the fact that, obviously a lot of content creators that are primarily from Call of Duty, mainly, I guess, just Warzone and other BRs, they kind of are, begging for Battlefield to have a BR at launch, and I'm going to go against the grain with them on that one, and in the same camp as a lot of Battlefield players have said already, don't do the BR, or at the very least, don't do it at launch. Give the game, several months to breathe. I'm talking maybe bare minimum 6. Let the game marinate for 6 months, and then drop it in the portal. The unfortunate thing is that they already teased it to be coming into Battlefield Portal. There was no exact date or time frame on that, but I am hoping that they do hold back on not releasing that right away, because eventually, well, not eventually, as soon as the game releases, you're going to have the people that want to play Battlefield, and then you're going to have the people that want to play Battle Royale. And those are two completely different things. I personally don't understand what BR people are saying when they think that Battlefield has all of the makings for a good BR, because BF5 had a BR, if I'm not mistaken, 2042 had a BR, and both of those flopped. No one liked them, no one played them, so what makes you think that Battlefield 6 is going to have a good one at that point? And I don't know, if they really just want it, you're going to have to wait, because me personally, I want to play Battlefield. I could care less about a BR right now. But yeah, like I said, I'll leave it there for now. For those of y'all who maybe have come in through the algorithm, or maybe some oldies on the channel who still tune in every once in a while with my horrific upload times and everything, feel free to let me know what you're thinking. I tried to get a little bit of different variety clips in here, just to show things off, because while I did play a lot, I didn't record a lot, unfortunately. I've been having to deal with some kind of SSD issues on my PlayStation for space and everything, but I've been getting that fixed up. And I do genuinely want to hear what some people are thinking, especially because I feel like for those who do kind of stick around my channel, things are not only Call of Duty focused, but maybe also some of you are not particularly FPS focused at all. And of the things that you've seen, what do you think about the game? Because being someone who has dabbled with Battlefield and plays FPS as his primary game type, I think this is super cool. I really love everything that I saw. And who knows, maybe eventually if, the stars shine on me, I'll be able to snag this, because, I mean, I do still like Call of Duty. That's just the sad part. I'm gonna buy Call of Duty. Fortunately, though, I can say confidently that the likelihood of me getting Infinity Ward's next title is next to 0, because after really their only good game being Infinite Warfare, after making Ghosts, and then Modern Warfare 1 and 2, 2019, and 2 from 2022. All 3 of those games, just not for me. You are 1 for 4, guys. But but yeah, like I said, I'll leave it there. I had a good time talking about the game. I miss doing this. And yeah, I hope to see you all again soon. Be sure to let me know what you think about Battlefield down below, and I will see you all in the next video, whatever it may be. Peace out, everybody.